Welcome to another episode of Class Haven Farm. So what we got going on today? Well, today we have some new members here on the farm that we want to introduce you to. So as you guys know, we started off this year with two goats. We had Rosie and Hope. We lost Hope about 4 or 5 weeks ago. So Rosie was by herself, which there's Rosie right there. So if anybody's ever watched any of my videos, Rosie's the one that does all the jumps and kicks and flips and all that good stuff. So we had Rosie, and get you guys set up here. So we ended up picking up 3 more goats. So what we have here is this brown one in the center, animal cracker. So this is Lola, and this brown one here is Biscuit. And then the big lone male that we have, this is Mythosaur. You can tell Chicken Whisperer has been watching some Mandalorian. And then of course we have Rosie. All right, Myth, you're just a big old, he loves him some animal crackers. So a couple different reasons for getting goats here. One, because it's awesome for my kids to experience goats and have goats around. And two, because here on the 6 acres that I own, there are some sections of this 6 acres that are very hard to cut with either my zero turn or the bush hog. So the game plan is to use these guys to move them around. Nope, not going to do it. I know, Myth. You're all about eating. So the game plan is to move these guys around and get them to eat some of this grass that I can't cut with either one of the mowers because of how steep it is. All right, everybody will get their animal crackers except for Rosie. All right, Myth, here you go. Now, the way I move these guys around, which I think I've showed you before, is I have the Premier One poultry netting, right? So that goes all the way around. And that's charged with the electric charger right there. And then what I use for their housing are these playhouses. Now, we had a lot of rain yesterday into last night, and they did very, very well here with all the rain that was coming in. And you can hear it when I'm walking around. It's just a wet, wet mess. So what I got to do now is get them some grain and get them some nice dry hay and get that in here. And then I'll show you some of the other new life that we have here at Class Haven Farms. You want another one, Myth? He loves his animal crackers. Here, here's another one. Oh, Rosie, now you want one? Hey, that's my finger. All right, so I'll show you guys some other stuff that we have going on here at Class Haven Farms. So something else that I had happen this week is one of my neighbors accidentally hit my mailbox, which wasn't a big deal because I needed to replace it anyway. And if anybody remembers the old John Deere mailbox from the old house, well, I was able to keep that. So I went ahead and painted the post up and put the mailbox on. It was kind of funny, you know, the neighbor had left a note on my work car, and I didn't see it. I left like 3:30 that morning to go into work, and when the sun came out, I happened to look down at the top of my windshield wiper, and I saw this piece of cardboard sitting up there. So I looked at it. You know, the neighbor said, "Hey, sorry, I accidentally hit your mailbox," but really no big deal. It happens, and I was just more happy that nothing bad happened to their car, and I'd already planned on replacing the mailbox. So that just told me, hey, it's time for you to get this done. So I'm going to walk you guys down here to the chickens because we do have something exciting here, especially with the chicken whisperer. He was super excited about this. So let me get you guys set up and show you what we have. All right, here we are at the new chicken coop that we put up a couple months ago. And little Miss Ethel has gone broody. So there she is sitting on a clutch of eggs. So the funny part about that is last weekend I had 2 foxes that crossed over here on the backside of the property. And so I had to talk with the kids. We ended up finding where the den was because Ruby, the beagle, found it. And so I had to talk with the kids. I said, look, you know, if you guys go outside and the dogs go out with you, you need to be mindful that they might take off after some foxes because, you know, we caught some down there. And I have this talk with Chicken Whisperer. I tell them, you know, you come get me right away if something goes on. You know, I'm always outside trying to keep an eye on them. And the next thing you know, he starts screaming. He's over here grabbing eggs and he starts screaming. And I'm thinking, the fox is there. Ruby went after the fox something. Nope. Chicken Whisperer was excited because little Miss Crystal, for the second time this year, has gone broody. So we now have 2 chickens that are broody. And we'll go ahead and shut this, give you a little bit of privacy there, girlfriend. So I would say probably later today, sometime tonight when I get home from work, I plan on candling these eggs and seeing if any of these will have some future baby chicks in them. So pretty exciting, but it doesn't stop there. We still got some more exciting news and some more life that is here at Class Haven Farms. Yep, that's right. So Tuesday in the mail came 16 Cornish cross baby chicks. So we now have Lily. Don't knock the tripod over. You're right underneath it, girlfriend. Oh, there it goes. So we now have, we have 14. We lost 2. Sorry about the tripod there. My shepherd gets excited around the baby chicks. Oh, good job, Lo. So as I said, we started with 16. We now have 14. So we lost 2. And I will tell you guys, in the number of years that I've been doing this time around is the first time I've ever actually lost any baby chicks. Now, it's only the second time of me doing Cornish cross, and I didn't lose. I had 10 the last time. I didn't lose any of those. But, you know, you always read and you always hear from people that you can plan on losing 1 or 2 of these guys just because of their breed and kind of how they are. But we got these from Meyer Hatchery out in Polk, Ohio. So they came in the mail. It was kind of cool because I was having lunch with a chicken whisperer at his school. And when I got the phone call, yep, I know, Lily. Look at that, baby chicks, huh? So when I got the phone call, I looked at him and I said, you know what that call is? And he goes, yeah, you need to go. So I went and got him. Of course, I brought him back to the school so him and his classmates and Lily Tamer's classmates could see him. So that is it for the extra life that we have here on the farm. Hopefully, we will have some chicks hatching here in about 16, 17 more days, somewhere in there. And I'll kind of walk you guys outside because the game plan with these guys is they're going to stay in here for 3 weeks total. And then they will go out to the mobile chicken tractor that I have outside and we'll keep them on grass for 5 weeks, and then we'll process them. So a total of 8 weeks. And then these guys will be going in the freezer to feed us and some of our friends and family. This is the chicken tractor that we will move the Cornish cross chicks out to once they hit the 3 week mark. Now I do have a tarp that I put over it, but since I'm not using it for anything, I keep the tarp out of the weather so it's not getting messed up. And this is kind of the original plans when I started this channel. If you guys have been watching me for a period of time, after my first year of doing a YouTube channel, I kind of did a review and talked about how I was going to build one of these. Well, here we go, got one, and we'll go ahead and get those chicks moved in here after the 3 week mark. Now, my game plan was to move them down into this lower pasture field because everything here is me. This is all me. backs up to my neighbor's house here, and then their property line runs around that way and up. So everything down there is me. But with the fox that we had that showed up, didn't want to take a chance with that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep them up here close to the house, just so I can kind of keep a better eye on them. And Ruby, my good old watchdog, she hears everything, she smells everything. So if something were to come out here to the front, chances are, even if it's late at night, Ruby's going to hear it, or she's going to smell it, and she's going to let me know. So I think that's going to be the game plan this first time around. We'll keep them here because one of those foxes is accounted for. The other one, I don't know where it is. Neighbors have been doing a really good job of keeping an eye on it and let me know, because they all know that I have chickens and you know, have livestock and things like that. So it's very nice to have good neighbors that try to look out for you. So cool thing, if you don't know anything, and I'll get you set up on this tripod, if you don't know anything about these chicken tractors, this is John Saskocevich style tractor. I actually bought one of his books for making this. So once you move them out into this coop, obviously they have their feed, they have their water, they have everything they need. And then each day you're going to move them on fresh grass. And the only way you do that is to pick this thing up and move it around. So if anybody watched the short video that I did with me and the kids, we just kind of had some fun, and I was talking about moving the chickens, and the kids got in there and acted like they were chickens. But that's what we plan on doing with this. So again, you know, this is something that you can do even if you don't have a lot of land. You know, even if they'll let you have chickens on your property under 3 acres. I know here in my county, in order to have chickens, you have to have 3 acres or more. You have to go through a certain kind of process in order to have them. But you know, some places aren't like that. Some places, as long as you don't have a rooster and you keep your flock down to a minimum, you can have them. So this is something that you can use. You don't have to go this extravagant. You know, there's a lot of different YouTube channels out there that use some of the smaller boxes and things like that. The biggest thing is just getting them on fresh grass and making sure that you do give them their feed that they need. I tell you though, those Cornish cross birds, they eat a lot and they drink a lot, and you really need to regulate how much they eat and drink. When I get them out into here, that's where I kind of regulate what they're doing. When they're little, I want them to eat. I want them to kind of put some size on, build their immune system and their strength up when they're younger. But once we get them moved out here, I kind of ration how much they eat. And I also want them to kind of eat some of that fresh grass, so you have that better tasting meat, because that's what you're looking for. That's why you do this. You know, a lot of my friends that talk to me think that I raise chickens for meat and for eggs because it's cheaper. It's not really cheaper. One, I just like knowing where my food comes from. I like teaching my kids kind of where their food comes from. So it's not just you go to the fast food restaurant, you order a chicken sandwich, and that's it. No, it started from this little baby chick, grew into this thing here, then we processed it, and now we eat it. So it just kind of gives them a better understanding of life and the whole cycle of it. And to me, growing up on my grandparents' dairy farm, I learned at a very early age that, you know, that's how life works. You know, yeah, you can go out and go get a hamburger from somewhere, but you know, that burger was somewhere in a field, and somebody had to raise it, somebody had to care for it, somebody had to make sure that it was up on, you know, all its medical things that it needed. Somebody had to put time and effort into that. I think a lot of times as a society, we just expect stuff to be there, and it should just be there. When it's not, we want to slam our foot down and be all mad that it's not there. That will wrap up this video. Of course, Lily wants to come see everybody. You can say hi to YouTube there, Lil. So that wraps up this video here. Just kind of go over a lot of the things that we got going on. This week was a pretty crazy week for me, and then the weather didn't help. I wanted to try to shoot this video yesterday, but it literally rained the entire time, and plus my work schedule has been pretty crazy, hasn't it, Lil? Been working a lot of nights and a lot of late shifts, so it kind of makes it hard for making YouTube videos, right? Just a little bit of update. We haven't really done anything with the garden. As you can see, the egg laying chickens are still there. We plan to kind of get that thing cleaned up and start getting it ready for putting plants and seeds in the ground. We haven't started the greenhouse. just because of the kids having games and having everything going on. But we'll get there. You know, that's the one thing, man. Don't rush life. You know, a couple years ago, I probably would have been mad if I wasn't at certain points that I wanted things to be. And you know, the older you get, I think you just kind of realize, you know, this time that we have here is precious. You know, one thing's for sure, none of us are going to be here 150 years from now. So what you do while you're here, if you just want to get angry and mad at everything, well, that's really easy to do. You can do that. You know, if you don't hit all your goals, but you know, just try to win some of those small battles. And I was really happy. It's just the male lady. Chill out. I was really happy to get the goats here, get them moved here. It was so fun to watch the kids get excited, especially Lily Tamer, man. She would love to have a horse. That girl would love to have a horse down this bottom field, and maybe one day we'll have that, but we're not there yet. But it's always just fun to watch her come out here and take care of the animals and have that interaction. So it's really, really good last weekend that we got that done, especially when they were here with me. And I did a short video, and you can kind of watch that and look at my game plan here of what I want to do down that bottom pasture to keep my hillsides trimmed back. So as always, if you like this kind of content, make sure you follow us along, like us, leave a comment down below. We really like when we get some comments. You can also follow us on Instagram, Class Haven Farms on Instagram, and we're also on Facebook. And oh, there they go. Now they're fighting and going, and now the goats are talking. And you can also email us at classhavenfarms@gmail.com. So if you want to reach out to us with any questions or anything you got going on. And other than that, see you guys on the next one.